All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We are going to do a reaction to a scat video, just to show you all that I don't play favorites. Um, Kevin Durant plays for my team, but this one's called Not Even Close, Kevin Durant's Pathetic GOAT Case. And yeah, I heard a little bit about this, but not any details. So I'm kind of curious about it myself. But if Kevin Durant really did call himself the GOAT, then hell no. But I have a feeling it's not that. But let's see what Scap has to say. All right, everybody, check out Scap's channel, shoot him some love like we always do, and let's get right into this.
Well, Kevin Durant has been making news headlines as of late. From his priceless response to Joel Embiid dropping 70 recently.
70?
Yeah, Joel has 70 today.
Which, of course, came on the same night as
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns pouring in a career high and franchise record 62 points on the same night.
I say
Yeah, you know how I feel about all this inflated scoring. Not a fan. Not a fan. Takes what used to be special about even a 50-point night. It's just not special anymore.
Cat had 40 at half. I mean, the skill level in this league is insane. I mean, this is the peak of basketball, in my opinion. You're seeing it with guys doing.
Peak of basketball. Yeah, Karl Anthony
Yeah.
Towns' own coach, Chris Finch, had another theory about the kind of basketball
I mean, yeah, I look. I have a feeling he's going to show a whole bunch of non-contention when it comes to defense, just wide open shots.
being played these days.
It was an absolute disgusting performance of defense and immature basketball.
But Durant
Good. Props for that. You know? Yeah, instead of just praising the guy who lit him up, why did he light him up? You know? Where's the fucking defense?
kept putting up headlines while doing what he has done best throughout the vast majority of his career, putting up buckets, which included this insane game winner against the Chicago Bulls recently. And there is no denying Durant is having an incredible season in this, his 16th season, aged 35 year.
Yeah, I give him props right now. He's been up and down this year. He's got to work on his turnovers. So he's been a little sloppy. But last night, he bailed us out against the Nuggets. Like hardcore bailed us out. So um, he was pretty much out there with just like him and Beal, and he was solely responsible for us winning in the fourth quarter and in overtime. Um, if he can just get more consistent, that's all. That's all.
As Durant is posting the fourth highest point per game total of his entire career at 29.1 points per game,
Yep.
along with 5.7 assists, third highest of his career, and 6.4 rebounds. And his shooting has been as ridiculous and
Hold
efficient
up.
as it has always been throughout shooting, assists, third
Sorry, I always like to look at these. 29.1, very good. 5.7 assists. I'm actually kind of surprised. Really good. 6.4, I'll take it. But he's 6'11, so I would take like three more and be a little happier. But I get it. He plays on the perimeter. Um, Good numbers. I'd like to see his turnovers, though. I'm curious.
third highest of his career, and 6.4 rebounds. And his shooting has been as ridiculous and efficient as it
Goddamn.
has always been throughout his career, with KD posting shooting splits at the midpoint of this NBA season of 53% from the field, 46% from three, and 87% from
Yeah, this is classic KD. If anybody ever had a complaint about Kevin Durant, who was on a team with him or coached him, it's that they want him to shoot more. And I see it now. Now that he plays for the Suns and I'm watching him almost every day, I get it. I'd like to see him more of a killer, more aggressive. I saw that last night, but that's what I mean by consistency. Not his numbers. His numbers are great, but like that killer where he just says, "Hey, I'm the best guy out here. Give me the fucking ball. Get out of the way." I want to see more of that. Because his percentages are fantastic. 45.5 from the 3-point line. Like, dude, just shoot him all day. Just shoot him all day. No one's gonna say a damn thing. No one can block you.
from the free throw line. And throughout his career, KD has said some really smart things.
It is MJ, Kobe, easy Kobe.
Easy, number 2 ever.
Exactly.
I don't even want to say number 2. It's like they just up here with
One A,
that.
one B.
Some really funny things.
Damn. Hey, I feel you, though. It's all good.
And this week, he said a really crazy thing. In talking with reporters, KD was asked why he isn't generally mentioned in the GOAT conversation.
Oh boy. Why? You know what? First of all, that's a stupid question to ask somebody because what is he supposed to say to that? What are you supposed to say? Why aren't you in the GOAT conversation? Dude, go fuck yourself, man. Don't ask me shit like that. You know? So of course okay. Here's what I think he's gonna say. He's gonna say something along the lines of I feel like I should be in the GOAT conversation. Something like that. You know, because he's not gonna say like I'm not worthy, I suck while he's still playing the game. Like that's bullshit.
To which his answer was, why shouldn't I be in that? That's the question you should ask. Why not? What haven't I done?
Wait a second. If he said that second part, okay.
Why not?
Why not? Fine.
What
What haven't I done? A lot, unfortunately. His only 2 rings were with Steph and the Warriors, a stacked team. He hasn't done it without him. That's what, bro. Like, that's it. And you got to do that like 3 times. So, okay. I get you, Scap. I'll let you play out.
haven't I done? Okay, Katie, you win. Let's ask the question, why not? And what you haven't done. But for starters, Durant's statistical accomplishments actually are as impressive as any player that has ever existed.
And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, and other stats don't really matter that much, man. We've seen some people with the most stats and they're not in the GOAT conversation. You know, that's why my whole stance with LeBron is what it is. He can rack up whatever stats he wants. He's not the greatest of all time, like greatest basketball player of all time. I don't see it. And neither is KD. You know, he's just not. You have to win and win continuously to be the greatest.
Existed in NBA history, or at least they likely will be by the time he retires, as Durant is currently sitting at 10th on the all-time scoring list, while no other active player is even in the top 20 aside from the all-time points leader at the moment, LeBron James. And Durant currently has 27,968 career points halfway through this season. With Durant posting near career numbers this year, there is no reason to think he will walk away anytime soon. Even just assuming 3 more seasons at a similar rate of scoring he has displayed the last 3 years should land him somewhere around 6th on the all-time list, which is currently Dirk Nowitzki, and it will give Durant an outside chance still of passing the 5th player on that list, which is Michael Jordan, and even potentially getting to number 4, which at the moment is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan played about 13.5 seasons total. So KD should definitely pass up Jordan in total point.
Obviously very impressive company. And his career stat line does closely mirror the alleged self-proclaimed GOAT himself, LeBron James, as James' current career averages of 27.1 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 7.3 assists on a true shooting percentage of 58.8% are very similar to Durant's, with KD posting a career line of 27.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 4.3 assists on an even more efficient.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. I just my 2 cents here. Once again, you know I don't play favorites. If LeBron's in a GOAT conversation way before KD, and that's simply because he won more. That's it. Their numbers are similar, but yeah, LeBron finished the job 4 times. KD's finished the job twice. They both had a lot of help. And yeah, that's it. 4-2.
62% true shooting percentage, while KD has also led the league in scoring 4 times, 4 of which were in a 5-year span in his early 20s. And
Yeah, I
the
didn't know
4
he
scoring crowns
he did all that in OKC, huh?
are as many as Allen Iverson and George Gervin, while it is more than any other player in league history aside from only Michael Jordan's 10 and Wilt Chamberlain's 7. That's what Durant has done. And if we are talking purely stats, as most in the mass media and delusional teenagers on social are these days, Durant raises a pretty fair question actually. But it is pretty damn obvious what he hasn't done for anyone with an actual brain. While KD has been good in the playoffs, amassing a 101-65 record. The 101 wins, by the way, just below Dwayne Wade's 105 and above Larry Bird's 99. And this is while his postseason win percentage of 60.8% is higher than other players like Shaquille O'Neal and Tony Parker. And this is all while posting a very impressive line of 29.5 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists per game for his career in the postseason. But Durant has not been very successful when it mattered in the postseason. Points.
Yeah, okay, so he's not crumbling in the postseason. At all. At all.
8 rebounds and 4 assists per game for his career in the postseason. But Durant has not been very successful when it mattered most, as KD is still searching for just his 3rd ring in a career that has now spanned 16 playing years and counting. And his relative lack of success isn't for the lack of talent he has played with throughout.
It's not hot take. And I've had people fight me in the comments about this one, but when it comes to KD, uh, I noticed it a little bit, but I really notice it now that he's a Phoenix Sun. I don't see that leadership in him. You know, like I don't see that vocal leadership in him, and I think that's a big deal. That's why Russ stepped it up in OKC. That's why Steph was the actual leader in the Warriors, but the vocal leader was Draymond. And then the whole thing in Brooklyn was just a flop because James Harden's not a leader, Kyrie's not a leader, and KD's not a leader. So nobody was driving that bus. Now with the Suns, yeah, it's like I'm waiting for either Devin Booker or KD to step up and be that guy, but I'm not seeing it yet. So I think that's really the major difference between KD and everybody else that's in the GOAT conversation is they were by far the leader. Whether I agree with their leadership ways or not, they were the leader of the team. And KD's kind of just, he's the best player, but he's not really a leader. Like the difference between a badass worker in a job versus a badass manager, you know?
Out his career, as following the Phoenix Suns' acquisition of Bradley Beal in the summer, Durant finds himself playing now for his 3rd career super team, a number that rivals even the king of super teams himself. And despite becoming one of, if not the best individual players in the world, winning league MVP in the 2014 NBA season, while playing alongside 2 other eventual league MVPs in Russell Westbrook and James Harden, Durant would manage to make just 1 finals appearance throughout his entire underwhelming 9-year tenure with the Thunder franchise. He would put a resounding exclamation mark on his 9 years of failures there in the 2016 playoffs, which would ultimately end up being his last with Oklahoma City. In those playoffs, the Thunder would collide with the greatest regular season team ever, the 73-9 Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. KD and the Thunder were destroying Golden State, winning Game 3 by 28 points and Game 4 by 24 points to take a decisive 3-1 series lead. But in quintessential Kevin Durant fashion, he would then play a pivotal role in perpetrating the massive choke job that would ensue. as in Game 6 at home, with a chance to close the series out and advance to the finals. The Thunder had an 8-point lead at the end of the third quarter. Durant would score just 4 points on 1 of 7 shooting in that
Damn.
fourth quarter, and the Thunder would ultimately be pushed to a Game 7 at the Oracle.
That kind of stuff is crazy because it's Kevin Durant, 6'11", with his moves, his speed, his shooting skill, his driving skill. Nobody should have been able to stop
his defense, though, it was likely difficult to make jumpers in that fourth with a big dump in his pants.
It's a complete crap.
Not to worry, there was still a Game 7 to be played for Durant to redeem himself in. But that didn't happen either. The Thunder did take a 6-point lead into the locker room at halftime, but got dusted in the third quarter 29-12. During the quarter, Durant was just 2 of 5 from the field for 6 points. Ultimately, his and Oklahoma City's vomit session in the West Finals opened the door for the Warriors to up the choking ante in the NBA Finals and perpetrate arguably the biggest pants-crapping moment in pro basketball history.
Diddly poo.
Becoming the first and still only team in NBA Finals history to blow their own 3-1 lead. And just 10 days after that Game 7 in the NBA Finals, Durant was hosting a couple teams in his Hamptons compound for a little free agency courtship shindig where he...
Two things. One, I can't believe people still call this the greatest team of all time just because they had the best regular season record, but they almost got eliminated once from the playoffs, and then they blew the finals, like really blew the finals historically. Two, I still can't believe KD went to the Warriors, dude. It fucking blows my mind after they just beat him.
He decided to stab his team in the back. And that, of course, was when Steph Curry and half of his Warriors team boarded a private jet to fly across the country and beg KD to join up. Though I'm certain it didn't take that much convincing. And taking his cue from, at the time, the 2-time super team building king of the era, why not? Less than 1 week after that little rendezvous in the Hamptons on July 7th, Durant officially signed on the line that was dotted.
Sign on the line which is dotted.
With the Golden State Warriors. And in arguably the most gutless and cowardly move in NBA history, the competitive balance of the NBA was completely destroyed for years, as LeBron's super team in the East and KD's super team in the West ruled supreme, with no other team having a remote shot. In all, those two franchises would meet in 4 consecutive NBA Finals. But at least unlike you-know-who choked in epic fashion with his freshly constructed super team, Durant actually delivered on the hype of his unbeatable juggernaut, easily winning the championship every season he was on the court with the Warriors, while winning the Finals MVP both years and destroying LeBron head-to-head when it mattered most, particularly in 20.
Yeah, big difference though is the Warriors were already obviously a very solid team. I mean, they were the best team in the league already. So it's different because in this case you added KD, and of course you crushed everyone. But with all these other super teams, they're just going to a place and then expecting it to just work. Get a couple stars together, assume you're going to win right off the bat. Like Brooklyn, they didn't win. They didn't even get to play nearly enough games to understand how to play with each other, let alone win. So it's different. This whole Warriors thing was just really unfair because it was take the best team and then add, at that point, probably the best player in the league. Like, it was insanely outbalanced.
2017, when Durant averaged a preposterous 35 points per game, 8.5 rebounds, and 5.5 assists on an even more preposterous 56, 47, and 93 shooting splits head-to-head against Bron in the finals. And despite LeBron's teammate Kyrie Irving outshooting and outscoring Steph Curry at every level for a second consecutive NBA Finals series, the difference in this one came down to Durant and LeBron. Despite LeBron filling up the stat sheet, as he usually does, the proof was in the fourth quarters, as it typically is. And the Cavaliers led at the end of 3 quarters in games 3, 4, and were only down by 4 points at the end of the third quarter in game 5. Cleveland, though, would lose 2 of those 3 games on the way to a gentleman's sweep of 4 games to 1. And while LeBron actually was quite good in the fourth quarters of this final series, for a change, he got absolutely schooled and dominated by KD. For the series, LeBron averaged 5.6 points per fourth quarter on 46% shooting.
That's garbage. It's not like he was even shooting that bad. He just wasn't aggressive. Okay, but, results are results. He had Kyrie. He had Kyrie to do it for him.
While Durant averaged 9.2 points in the final frame on 63% from the field. Durant's offensive rating in this series of 139 is higher than any of the 10 NBA Final series of LeBron's entire career. Unfortunately for KD, these are the only 2 titles of his entire career. A mere 2 titles on an impossibly loaded super team. While
that's the big stain. If he would have stayed in OKC and eventually won 2 championships in OKC, we'd talk about this a little different. Because those would be well-earned, built teams that conquered. But he ended up winning them in Golden State. It was stacked. It wasn't fair. And because if that was the case, we'd be saying, okay, well, LeBron's got 4, but LeBron kept, swapping teams and building super teams. So that's why he did it. But KD did it the right way. Obviously, Jordan did it the right way too, and so did Kobe. So Kobe's 5 and Jordan's 6 are going to outweigh 2. But I think KD would have been right there with LeBron in the conversation had he stayed in OKC and won at least 2 rings.
While this doesn't differ from the tactics LeBron himself has deployed in winning his titles, LeBron has just ultimately been more successful in his super team building than Durant has been in his, yielding more net garbage titles for LeBron than Durant. But what Durant is questioning is why him going to Golden State in the first place invalidates his accomplishments, but LeBron is not held to these same standards. And amid the vast landscape of all-time great players throughout the history of professional basketball.
No, it is. It is held to the same standards, but LeBron's got 4. That's exactly kind of what I was talking about just a minute ago. If he had 2, but he did it the right way, different conversation. But he did it LeBron's way, and he's only got 2. So it's different.
With varying degrees of cases to their own individual claim on the mantle of greatest player of all time, all of which won the right way. This is a fair question. So while Durant's logic is sound in asking the why, it's not the proper question he is asking. The question isn't why KD is not included in the GOAT conversation.
It's why LeBron is in the freaking conversation.
It's why is LeBron? Ultimately, neither of them should be.
Yeah.
Because the mounting fake news narratives swirling around these days might ultimately be able to erase.
I think me and Scap would get along. We need to hang out. Scap, if you're out there, man, let's go get a beer, bro.
The context of how these guys won their titles. But anyone that was really watching at the time will never be able to take those championships very seriously. Not all winning is created equal, and that is the thing that will always keep both of those guys out of any real conversations.
All right. Oh, shoot. I hate it when I do that. All right. Here we go. Okay.
In 20.
Good Lord. Okay. So, first of all, thanks for watching. As go give Scap some love. Give him a like. Go check out his channel. It's a great freaking channel. And number two is, I mean, simple question for the comments. Do you think KD should be in the GOAT conversation? And if not, why? And also, what would he have to do in order to get in the GOAT conversation? So let's discuss this down below, everybody. I'd like to thank you all for watching the video. Shoot me a like, comment, subscribe if you wouldn't mind. It really helps the channel grow. And I will see you tomorrow for the next one. Peace.